Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this world. You are welcome to this channel. This is your boy Francis, and you are really welcome. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do that. But what I'll be talking about today is going to be charts. I will be scanning through different charts based on demands. Keep an open mind, and we're going to go through all of them. The first one here is going to be ORPH. This one right here, I'm expecting this particular stock to bounce right off this area because I have volume coming in here, right? So if we can bounce off, we can get through the 20 EMA. You see how we bounce off into the 20 EMA, got rejected. So I'm expecting the same action again with more volume this time to break right through it into the $10 spot. That is my target so far on this one. But these are kind of swing trade kind of deal with a stop loss right around $5, right? The next one is going to be, let's see here, right there, VNet. Keep an eye on VNet. Okay, keep an eye on VNet. I'm looking for a bounce right off this area. The next one is going to be BA as well. This has been a beaten down stock, so I would say keep an eye on this one because right now we are on the 200 moving average. Okay, so every time, in most cases, stocks gets to the 200, it tends to bounce right off, right? They have so much issue going on at this point in time, but I'm expecting Boeing to actually bounce right off this 200 moving average, which also coincide with this trend support. So we can bounce right off into the 230 or 235. That is what I'm expecting come a week or two. But I will be loading up my portfolio with Boeing because Boeing is for me it's a long-term kind of play. I'm not too concerned or worried about the Delta variant, but I think things will continue to go on. Okay, so that is for Boeing. Zoom also is also what I call the pandemic play. Okay, it's a pandemic play, so I'm expecting Zoom to actually bounce right off this area because we close right above the 50 moving average. So if you're looking for calls, you're gonna be looking for 360 365 calls, but don't forget you're gonna be paying premium on this one because this is really expensive, right? And I don't want to play any options in this case that expire within 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Last week I got really burned playing options that expire in a week or two, so I don't want to do that no more, right? Regardless that at the end of the day I still made some form of a profit, but I don't want to be doing that no more. We broke this trend down and now we're trying to bounce right off this area of support on Zoom. So keep an eye on Zoom. Okay, Palantir is another one that is a very lovely chart to look at. For me right now, this area is the area of support for me. Okay, which also is more like a inverse head and shoulder, right? So I'm expecting this area for price to bounce right off this area. That is what I'm expecting. If we can bounce off this area, we should be all right. On Friday, I added more to my swing long dividend portfolio on Palantir, and I'm also planning to add more if we can break right off this downtrend. Beautiful. Next one is gonna be PUBM. This one, keep an eye on this one. Okay, so I'm expecting price to balance right around this area because this is what I call the demand zone. So anything around this area for me is this demand zone. which also coincide with this area right here. So right now we are all bouncing right off the demand zone. Okay, so what I'll be expecting is for price to visit the $34 $34.50 spot on PUBM. This for me is a long-term hold. PUBM is for the long term, so I have it in my long-term dividend portfolio. The next one is going to be API. API, keep an eye on API as well, because we also have, price holding this level. So if we can hold this level with favorable market condition, I think we'll be all right. MACD, look at that signal line, just keep going and going and going, right? So keep an eye on it, because some people will call this divergence, right? Because we're just going right there like that. Then this one is coming down. So there is some form of a divergence in this case. So keep an eye on this particular name. Next one is going to be NVIDIA. NVIDIA is also another one that I got some few calls into the name. I got the 720 and the 750 call options. The reason is because I'm expecting NVIDIA to bounce right off this area on Monday, because they have a reverse split on Tuesday. So keep an eye on this one. I'm expecting this area to hold. Right now we're really extended, in terms of the MACD, and we are in the oversold territory, which is the 41%. So I'm expecting price, even if we pull back down, pull to the 726, and then we can bounce right off that area. But I don't mind if price also pull back to the 700 as well, right? So that is how you trade. So right now I'm expecting NVIDIA to bounce right off this area for some profits, right? Next one is going to be Apple. Apple, I am actually holding Apple for a long term. That is what I'm holding Apple for. So Apple right now, I have an open mind for Apple to pull back. Okay, even if Apple pull back to the 140, I will continue to add and add and add to my long-term dividend stock portfolio. Because why? Right now we are really extended, and I sold some around the 150 149 area in anticipation of a pullback, and the market gave us that pullback, right? At first Apple didn't want to pull back, so the market gave us the pullback, and I decided, okay, let me wait and see if we can pull back down. I will get some stocks on Apple. Next one is going to be our MSFT, guys. This one is also a beauty. Right now we are topping, okay, just like the Apple did, right? If you take a look at Apple, look at what Apple did here. We push all the way higher, and guess what? We start pulling back. And what is gonna happen here? I'm expecting the same action. If market keep pulling down and market did not respect the 20 exponential moving average, then guess what? Or say perhaps the market pulled to the 50 exponential moving average, and guess what is gonna happen to Microsoft? It's gonna still pull back down. So keep an open mind if we can pull down 5 points, and then consolidate right around here, then start pushing higher. The next one here is going to be our PepsiCo. Pepsi is also another one that is breaking out. We are breaking out on Pepsi, okay? PEP. So keep an eye on this one. Right now we don't know which direction we're going to go at this point in time, so keep an open mind if we continue higher or if we pull back into our breakout spot on PepsiCo. ROTX, keep an eye on this one. Right now we're breaking this support, so but we are still in the demand zone, so keep an eye on this area. See how we rejected this downtrend? Keep an eye on it. We are in the oversold area with MACD thinking like he wants to like push back. So keep an eye on that one, guys. The next one I'll be talking about is KYMR. So this one is a therapeutics kind of company. Right now, this is our what we call the resistance, okay, the supply zone. So I'm expecting price to push through the 200 moving average. So our resistance is also acting as our 200 moving average, right? So this is a solid area. If price can push through, we should be all right. But guess what happened on Friday? There was huge amount of volume. So because of this huge amount of volume, I think if we open up on Monday and then there's more volume, I think we'll be able to push through towards the 55 or 54 $55 spot. So keep an eye on it, because right now we're at the 52% on RSI. Take a look at it, because we have this channel as well. If you go into your Thinkorswim, you will see that right now we have this channel, right? So right here, and right here. So we're bouncing right off this area. So if we can break through this 200 moving average, which is 50, 75, then we should be all right to push into the 53 and then 55, and then, you know, continue pushing higher. But this is really good, because if we can break right off this 57, $58 spot, I think we'll be able to test these highs. These are for long-term kind of hold, right? So keep an eye on that one. The next one is going to be FUBU. FUBU is my long-term hold. So right now we're back to the 200 moving average. We tried to break through, we couldn't. We just closed right below the 200 moving average, which is bearish, if I may say. It's bearish. But now we have volume coming in, and I'm expecting this to break through this downtrend, and then we continue pushing higher. If price doesn't hold the $25 spot, then we can pull back down to the 23 or 22.50. But I will be buying into this pullback. So any pullback I see on FUBU, I will be buying on that one. This one is not really a big deal. I just got the request for this, but you know, keep an open mind around this $13 spot on KLZ, or the $14 spot. If we can bounce right off this area, you know, into the $16 spot, but keep an eye on this one. I wouldn't be buying any call options or whatsoever. I rather deal with you know, equity, which is shares, buying shares, right? PATH, this is Cathy Wood trade. I talked about it last week that I would be buying. I'm still buying on this one. You know, 10 shares, 5 shares, 2 shares, you know, 50 shares, 100 shares. I'm still buying. When we pull back to this area, I bought, you know, 50 shares and, you know, added to my long-term portfolio, because I also have another account where I am trading, just, you know, buying just this little stock and see how, you know, they pan out in the next 5 years. So that's how I'm doing it. Guys, you don't need huge amount of money to start trading in the stock market. All you need is to be able to buy 1 share, 2 shares, 3 shares, 5 shares in the stock market. That is what you need in order to be successful in trading. And also, you can as well do paper trading. Learn how to get in and out of stocks, and paper trading also helps you to understand your platform, okay, so that you can trade on that platform, understand the platform, and then move on into executing real-time fundamentals, real-time trades, and real-time action. Next one is going to be our NIO, okay, NIO. Beautiful. This one right now, see how we're really, you know, consolidating. This is a 3-bar candle right now. This is a 3-bar play. Are we gonna go up or are we gonna go down? We don't know, guys. Okay, you know, I don't have that magic ball, but what I'm expecting is for price to bounce right off this area. With a favorable market, I want price to bounce right off this area. This company don't have any issues with the Chinese yet, but keep an open mind for a bounce right off this area. If you're looking for calls, you're going to be looking for the in-the-money call options, like the $40 call options, or say maybe the $45 call options, which is out of the money, but it's still within, you know, the demand demand zone. And what I mean by demand zone, looking at it right here to right here, this is the demand zone. Okay, this is the demand zone. This is where, you know, you have a whole lot of people buying and stuff like that. That is what is supposed to happen. They tried it here, but it didn't work out, because this is also another demand zone, right? So that is pretty much it for NIO. Keep an eye on Tesla as well, because Tesla has been, you know, really crazy. The short sellers, they really don't like this stock. So right now we are holding this trend. That is all I care about right now. And we are just right below the 200 moving average, which will act as a support. So I'm expecting some form of, you know, convergence on this one, just to get through and then push higher. Okay, that is for Tesla. I like the fact that the release subscription and all that with, you know, their FSD as well. So keep an eye on Tesla for this coming week. Zoom, this is ExxonMobil. We are, you know, right on top of the demand zone, because this is the demand zone. So I'm expecting price to bounce right off this area, or, you know, get back into this channel, or this, you know, this area, this rectangle, and then, you know, continue consolidating higher. One thing is, you know, instead of me getting into Exxon around here, because right now if you see the 200 moving average, we're really far away. So we pull back, right? Now we're far away from it, and now we're pulling back. That is how you're gonna know what is, you know, extension. Okay, so we're really extended from the 200 moving average, and ever since we've been holding what, the 50 exponential moving average. Right now we tried to reclaim it, but we couldn't, and then we just failed with the help of the market, right, and the OPEC deal and all those good stuff. Shopify, this one, keep an eye on this one, because right now we are really in a very critical spot. See how we bounce right off this area? Right now the same thing is happening right on a bigger scale. So I'm expecting a bounce right off this area if we're gonna still, you know, use this same pattern. But also keep an open mind, just in case this kind of pattern occur again, where we pull back down on Shopify. Next one is going to be Amazon. Amazon, I have the 3600 call option on this one, so I'm expecting this to push into Jeff Bezos' launch. But at the same time, I'm also open in terms of you know, if this does the same thing SPCE did, Virgin Galactic. Okay, Branson just went up into space and pulled back down. The stock really did take the same direction. Plus, you know, there was a catalyst that actually helped to drive the stock down too with that offering. So keep an open mind. ROBLX, keep an open mind and open heart on this one, guys. You know, I've been waiting for ROBLX to really pull back to, you know, the IPO days. Okay, the IPO days, this area. I'm waiting for price to pull back to this area. That is what I'm waiting for, guys. You know, but one thing about it is right now we have support right around this area. So this area will act as a support to push higher. But if this area doesn't hold, expect price to pull back to the $70 spot on ROBLX. The next one is going to be Sophie, SOFI. Keep an eye on it, because why? We are really extended back on the MACD side of things. Okay, and our RSI is really in the oversold spot, and right now we are coming into support. So I'm expecting this to, you know, to bounce off at some point, or even pull back to the $15 spot, then bounce off that area on Sophie. Wish, keep an eye on Wish. I wish this can really bounce off this area, right? Right now we have this trend support, so, you know, keep an eye on this one. If we can bounce right off this area. I have an open mind for the $8 or $7.50 on this, so I can load more on Wish. They have a really good platform, Context Logic. They have a good platform, and I think they will do good in the long run. But right now is so many traders are taking they are taking decent amount of pain on Wish. Next is going to be our Clove. The same thing. Traders are taking huge amount of loss right now, but I think keep an eye on this area to bounce right off this $8 spot. I also have an open heart in terms of $7.50 or $7 on this name. I've been buying this right from the $12, and I just keep adding and adding and adding to it, because I think in the next 6 months or something, even before the next 6 months, I think we'll be able to bounce right off this area. Okay, CMMB, keep an eye on this. Cathy would also have some exposure in this one. Right now this has a huge demand zone. Okay, if we can break right off the 21.75, I think we'll be able to test the 29 area. So keep an eye on this one. I still have my position on CMMB. INTC, I took some more position on Friday on this pullback around the $55 spot. So I'm expecting price to bounce right off this area. If price doesn't bounce right off, we will pull back to this trend support, which is around the $54 spot. I'm still buying this because I believe Intel will do good in the long run. I know it hasn't been that kind of a growth stocks that you really want, but with the semiconductors and all that, chip shortages and stuff like that, don't forget AMD is also pushing higher too. This is trading at what, 54.97, and AMD is around 85. So I think INTC has room to still push in the long run. Right now AMD is back into support. Keep an open mind for the $85 spot. This is also good to to grab some around this area, because we are in the sold territory. BIIB, keep an eye on BIIB, because why? We have the Chinese people, we have the Chinese regulation. If we fail these 325, guess where we're going? We're going to the natural support, which is the $300 spot. That's where we're going next. So keep an eye if we can bounce right off this area into our resistance of 333. Guys, that is it, man. Next one is going to be Baba. Okay, Alibaba. This trade is crazy. It's been really choppy. We go up, down, 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 up, down. Okay, so right now I'm expecting this area to consolidate right around this area. If we can consolidate right around this area, break through the 50 exponential moving average, which is the 217, then we get to the 220, because the 220 is our resistance. For me, that is the ultimate area. The 220, that is going to be our resistance. This move up here, I made money, and I lost just a little 1/8 of my profit, and then I was like, no, I'm done with it, because we're failing the 20 and 50, and price pulled back down. And guess what happened? We bounced right off. So when price pulled back down, I took the 205 call, and I made some money. I made back the money I lost on it. But right now I still have open mind for a long-term hold. So I'm thinking I can pick some few shares and just hold it for a long term. Okay, next one is going to be PETX. Keep an eye on PETX, because this is also some form of a low float stocks in the big space. Okay, right now we have our supply, which is going to be this area. So this area is going to be what? Our resistance area. So every time we pull to this area, we reject it, right? So right now I'm expecting price to consolidate here and then push higher. Come Monday, this can even push higher. You never know. But keep an eye out on this one, because guess what is happening right here? MACD is changing direction, volume is coming in, RSI is also showing strength to the upside. So keep an eye on that. Moderna, this one, I don't know if I talked about this, but yes, right now we broke out, and in the chat on Twitter, I talked about, you know, picking some put options on this one. So I took the 285. You know, as time goes on, Moderna got to 288.8 something and then flushed back down. So as the Moderna flushed back down, I said, okay, I got out of my position and said this thing is changing direction, and it did change direction, you know. And after hours, I think we were like 289 and some change. You know, we can take a look at it real quick on Thinkorswim. Moderna. All right, so let's take a look at the 4 hours. All right, so yeah, so about, you know, we really pushed through the 289, and right now after hours we got to what, the 280, about 288. Okay, so I think if this area holds, then we'll be looking at, you know, for the stock to break out. So this is the area the stock need to break out from. 289 is your area for continuation into 300 on Moderna. But at the same time, I also have this trend right here. If you take a look at this, this is also a trend. So we must hold right above this trend for this stock to continue. If we fail, then we'll pull back down to this area. If this area 270, 275 doesn't hold, then we'll pull back down to this and gap fill. Okay, so that is how you look at that. Guys, that is pretty much it for today. These are your popular chat demand, and if you have any questions, concern, don't hesitate to email me at tradingsuccessshow@gmail.com. If you love this content and you enjoy this content, don't hesitate to subscribe and like this video. If you have any questions, again guys, email me, follow me on Twitter and on StockTweet. Peace and love, guys. Bye bye.